A hedge fund guy paid $92,000 for the SUV I'm going to end this video with. Hand-stitched leather, a V8 engineered to outlive him, a badge that told the valet everything he needed to know. 14 years later, that exact truck rolled across a dealer auction block for $11,000, less than a base RAV4 with cloth seats and steel wheels, and the engine barely broken in. That's the dirty little secret of the luxury SUV world. The person who buys one new eats a six-figure depreciation hit so that someone like you can buy the most overbuilt V8s ever bolted together for Corolla money. 22 years I've had these things on my lift. Here are 5 worth stealing. Let me be clear about what overbuilt means before we start, because it matters. I'm not talking about fast, I'm talking about engines that were designed with so much margin, so much extra metal and cooling and engineering that they simply refuse to wear out. These were the flagships, the no expense spared halo trucks. And because rich people lease them and dump them, and because everyone else is terrified of a big V8 fuel bill, they've collapsed in price to the point where they cost less than the boring crossover your neighbor just financed. Let's count them down. Number 5, Mercedes-Benz GL550. The number 5 spot goes to the biggest price crash on this entire list. When the GL550 rolled out of the showroom, it stickered north of $85,000. That's a full-size 3-row leather-lined German land yacht with a hand-assembled V8 and a 4MATIC all-wheel drive system that could pull a boat out of a lake. Today, a clean 2008 to 2012 GL550 sells for $10,000 to $18,000. I've seen tidy ones with records change hands in the low teens. That's less than a 5-year-old RAV4. Read that again. Here's the part nobody tells you. The engine in these, the 5.5-liter M273, is naturally aspirated, no turbos. In 2013, Mercedes switched the GL550 to a twin-turbo 4.7-liter, and that is a fine engine, but for pure long-haul durability, I want the older, normally aspirated 5.5-liter. It makes 382 horsepower. It is smooth as glass, and when it is maintained, it will run right up toward and past 200,000 miles. I had a customer with a 2008 GL550 come through my shop last winter, sitting at 190,000 miles on the original engine and transmission, still whisper quiet. He bought it 4 years ago for 14 grand. Now, I am going to be honest with you the way I would be honest with my own brother, because this is the one on the list with an asterisk. This is a Mercedes. Parts and labor cost real money, and there are known weak points you need to buy around. The early engines built before mid-2008 had cam plug oil leaks and a timing chain guide gear that could wear early. Mercedes revised both. The intake manifold has plastic flaps that can gum up and snap an actuator. And the airmatic air suspension will eventually need a strut, and that is not a $50 part. So this is not a buy it and ignore it truck. This is a buy the best one you can find, keep a $2,000 maintenance fund, and drive a $90,000 SUV for the price of a used economy car truck. Inspection checklist. First, put it in the air and look for oil weeping from the back of the cylinder heads. That tells you whether the plugs were done. Second, cycle the air suspension, raise it and lower it, and listen for the compressor straining or watch for one corner sagging overnight. Third, pull cold and let it idle. A rough hunting idle points at those intake flaps. Fourth, get the service records. On a German V8, a fat maintenance folder is worth more than low mileage. Who should buy it? Somebody who wants the absolute most luxury per dollar on earth and is disciplined enough to maintain it. Who should skip it? Anyone who thinks German and cheap to own go together, or who does not have a good independent shop. If that is you, keep watching, because the next 4 are a lot more forgiving. Number 4 is the tank that nobody remembers exists, and that's exactly why it's a steal. The 2011 to 2013 Infiniti QX56 and the QX80 that replaced the name in 2014 is built on the bones of the Nissan Patrol, the Y62, which is the truck that crosses actual deserts in the Middle East and comes back for more. Americans don't get the Patrol. We got it wearing an Infiniti suit, loaded with quilted leather, a 13-speaker Bose system, and heated everything. New, it ran $60,000 to $75,000. Today, a solid 2011 to 2013 QX56 is $8,000 to $15,000. That's not a typo. The engine is a 5.6-liter V8 making 400 horsepower and 413 pound-feet, backed by a 7-speed automatic. It will tow 8,500 pounds without breathing hard. It will haul 7 or 8 people in silence, and the underlying architecture is genuinely truck tough. I've got a customer, a contractor, who runs one as a family hauler and a weekend tow rig. He is at 160,000 miles. His words to me were, "Why is nobody else driving these?" The answer is simply that the badge does not have the cachet of a Lexus or a Benz, so the market forgot about it. Their loss is your gain. Number 4, Infiniti QX56, QX80. 2 honest cautions. Some of these had a timing chain concern that was addressed under a service campaign, so you take the VIN to an Infiniti dealer and confirm it was handled. That's a 2-minute phone call that can save you a headache. And at higher miles, the high-pressure fuel pump can get tired, but that's a manageable repair, nowhere near engine money. Also, avoid the white 2012 models. Specifically, there was a paint defect on that combination. Test drive, checklist. Confirm the timing chain campaign on the VIN first, non-negotiable. Second, on a cold start, listen for any rattle in the first couple of seconds. Third, put it in a tight parking lot circle at full lock and feel for driveline binding. Fourth, cycle every one of the power features. These are option-loaded trucks, and a dead motor for the second row seats or the liftgate can be annoying to chase. If it all works and the chain's confirmed, you're looking at one of the toughest V8 SUVs money can buy for the price of a used commuter. Number 3, Cadillac Escalade 6.2-liter V8. Number 3 is the one your barber, your plumber, and every NFL rookie wanted in 2010, and now it's cheaper to buy and cheaper to fix than almost anything else here. The 2007 to 2014 Escalade with the 6.2-liter V8 stickered anywhere from $63,000 to $85,000 depending on how you optioned it. Today, clean examples land right around $15,000 to $22,000. And here's the mechanics angle that changes everything. This is an American V8 built on GM's full-size truck platform, which means it shares parts with a couple million Silverados and Tahoes. Parts are everywhere. Parts are cheap. Any competent shop in America can work on it. That's the opposite of the German experience. That 6.2-liter makes over 400 horsepower. It's got a cast-in block cam and simple, proven internals, and the bottom end is genuinely stout. I've seen these past 200,000 miles. But, and this is the one thing you absolutely must understand before you buy, these engines use active fuel management, the cylinder deactivation system that shuts off 4 cylinders to save fuel. On a neglected truck, that AFM system is tied to oil consumption and, in the worst cases, a collapsed lifter. So the entire game with an Escalade is buying one that had its oil changed religiously and then keeping the oil topped off and fresh yourself. Do that, and the 6.2 is a workhorse. A lot of enthusiasts install a small tuner or a kit to keep the engine in 8-cylinder mode full time, which sidesteps the AFM issue entirely. Inspection checklist. First, check the oil level and honestly, the smell and color. A low burnt reading is a walk away. Second, listen at cold start for a lifter tick that doesn't clear. Third, these ride on air, so check for a sagging corner or a compressor that runs forever. Fourth, scan for cheap, deferred maintenance. Brake rotors and suspension bushings on a 2.5-ton truck get abused. Who should buy it? Somebody who wants big American presence, dead simple, cheap repairs, and doesn't mind fuel bills. Who should skip it? Anyone who won't commit to religious oil changes, because that is the whole ball game on this motor. If this straight talk is useful to you, do me a favor and hit subscribe. The next 2 are the ones I actually put my own customers into, and I go deepest onto number 1. Number 2, Lexus GX470. Number 2 is the one I call the smart money pick, And if you told me you had $15,000 and wanted a luxury V8 that would outlive your mortgage, this is where I'd point you before you finish the sentence. The Lexus GX470 doesn't get the attention of the big flagship, and for years it flew completely under the radar, which is exactly why it was such a bargain. That window's starting to close as people wake up. Values have been climbing, but you can still find good ones in the $12,000 to $20,000 range, and every dollar is worth it. Here's why the GX is special, and it's one word: the 2UZ-FE. This is a 4.7 liter V8 with a cast iron block and internals that were massively overbuilt from the factory. It's the same engine family that powered the Land Cruiser, the Tundra, and the Sequoia, trucks people drive into the ground and cannot kill. Owners routinely take these past 300,000 miles, and plenty have crossed 400,000 on nothing but oil, fluids, and a timing belt. That's the one maintenance item you have to respect. Unlike the chain-driven engines on this list, the 2UZ uses a timing belt that needs changing around every 90,000 miles. Do that on schedule, and this engine simply does not quit. And it's not just the engine. The GX470 is built on the Land Cruiser Prado platform, a real ladder frame, a dual range transfer case, a full-time four-wheel drive system with a locking center differential. This is a genuine off-road machine wearing a tailored Lexus interior with wood, leather, and a ride that isolates you from the world. New, it was a $50,000 plus luxury SUV. Now it is Camry money with 3 times the toughness. I had a woman come in convinced she needed a new crossover with a payment. I walked her out to a 2007 GX470 a customer had just traded, 140,000 miles, immaculate. I told her that truck would still be running when the new crossover was in a junkyard. She bought it. 2 years later, she texts me photos of it loaded with kayaks. 0 problems. Checklist. First, say it with me, confirm the timing belt and water pump were done with a receipt. Second, watch for the dash warning on the rear air height control if it is equipped and cycle it. Third, check the frame and rockers for rust if it lived up north, because the drivetrain outlasts everything and rust becomes the real enemy. Fourth, make sure the rear barn door hinge and the running boards are not beat up. It tells you how it was treated. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants Land Cruiser immortality without the Land Cruiser price. Who should skip it? Somebody who needs a huge third row or good fuel economy, because it is snug and back and it drinks. For everyone else, this is the closest thing to a forever truck on the affordable end of this list. Number 1, Lexus LX570. And that brings us to number 1, the truck that opened this video. The hedge fund guy's $92,000 SUV that sold for 11 grand. The Lexus LX570 is, in my honest professional opinion, the most overbuilt luxury SUV a normal person can buy. And the fact that early ones now dip into the high teens and low 20s is close to a market failure. There are LX570s listed right now, starting around $18,000 to $22,000. People pay that for a used compact crossover with a 4-cylinder. Let me tell you exactly what you're getting. Under the hood is the 5.7 liter 3UR FE V8, 383 horsepower, 403 pound-feet. And this is the important part. It is the same engine that Toyota bolted into the Land Cruiser 200, the Tundra, and the Sequoia. Toyota ran this aluminum block V8 through more than 800,000 miles of durability testing. 800,000. It's a timing chain engine, so there's no belt to service. No turbos to fail because there aren't any. It's naturally aspirated, cooled with oil jets on the pistons, and built with the kind of margin that Toyota is famous for and everyone else only talks about. And that engine sits inside a genuine Land Cruiser. The LX570 is the Land Cruiser 200 in a bespoke suit. It has a full ladder frame, full-time 4-wheel drive with a locking center differential, a height-adjustable suspension, and an interior with cooled seats, a Mark Levinson stereo, and materials that still feel special today. This is a truck built to cross a continent and then valet at a 5-star hotel. It was engineered without compromise because it was the flagship, and the flagship had to be perfect. I have had these on my lift with 200,000 plus miles on the clock that drove like they had 40,000. The repair list is almost boring. Brakes, fluids, the occasional suspension component. That's it. I tell people the LX570 doesn't cost you money, it costs the first owner money, and then it just serves you. Now the honesty, because there's always something. It's thirsty. This is a nearly 6,000 pound V8, so if a fuel bill scares you, buy a Prius and move on. The air-assisted suspension on high mileage examples can eventually need attention, so you check it. And because these hold their reputation so well, you have to hunt for the deals, the mispriced private sale, the trade in a dealer doesn't understand, the high miles example that scares off buyers who don't know that the high miles on a 3UR FE is barely middle age. Buying checklist. First, cycle the suspension through its height settings and confirm all four corners respond and hold. Second, on the earlier examples, verify the timing chain engine has clean oil history. These thrive on maintenance and coast on neglect, but you still want records. Third, test every luxury feature because a fully loaded flagship has a lot of motors and modules, and you want them all alive. Fourth, my pro tip, find one owned by an older couple who garaged it and towed a small trailer twice a year. A pampered LX570 with 90,000 miles is essentially a brand new truck at a 70% discount. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants to buy one vehicle and drive it for the next 15 years with almost no drama and doesn't care what the neighbors think about the fuel gauge. Who should skip it? People who genuinely can't stomach the gas or who need to look flashy and new. If I had $22,000 in one slot in my driveway for the next decade, I'd buy an LX570 and never think about it again. So there they are. 5 overbuilt V8 luxury SUVs that millionaires paid a fortune for and then handed to us for the price of a used commuter. The Mercedes GL550, German luxury for economy car money if you buy smart. The Infiniti QX56 and QX80, a desert-proven patrol wearing a tuxedo. The Cadillac Escalade, an American V8 that's cheap to fix on every corner in the country. The Lexus GX470, the smart money forever truck, and the mighty LX570, the closest thing to an immortal luxury SUV that you can actually afford. Here's the thing to remember next time you're standing on a lot and a salesman is steering you toward a boring crossover with a payment. The most overbuilt vehicles ever made are sitting 3 rows back, marked down to nothing, just because the badge scared everyone off and the first owner already ate the loss. Be the smart second owner. That's where the real money hides. If this helped you, hit that like button and subscribe. I have a whole video coming on the exact V8 engines I'd trust to 300,000 miles and the ones I'd run from. 22 years of watching these trucks come and go. Take care of the good ones and they'll take care of you. I'll see you in the next one.